We'll see what Tennessee baseball is able to do this year. I think they're to the point they're on such solid footing that, going to the College World Series just almost seems like a given every year. I don't want to put too much pressure on them, but doesn't it?
No, I don't think. I mean, they didn't go last year. They had a better team. Look, I told you, the NCAA baseball tournament is we're a month away from me, because it'll be the first time we're doing this show with March Madness. We're a month away from me going into my soliloquy on why March Madness is a terrible tournament and why I hate it so much. I
love it.
I'm not going to go there now. I'll wait a month and now, but I will break down for you guys why it's it's the ultimate participation trophy tournament. But I will say the NCAA baseball tournament may be worse. It is a terrible way of crowning a champion.
I'm not crazy about the way it's staggered, and I go back on something I said in the running for the College World Series each and every year is what I said. I don't like the way it's staggered, but I don't know how else you can really do it. I guess I took part. It's not as foreign to me because I umpired during situations that had double elimination tournaments, so it's not as foreign to me as it is some people.
It's not the double. It's the best of 3 series. There are books about this tracking which sports have the highest element of randomness, and baseball's probably right up there with hockey. And that's why you have to have 162 baseball games. You have you need that many games to separate out the better teams, because baseball, one baseball game is more random than a game in any other sport. And this is why I hated expanding this is why baseball is the one sport where you shouldn't be expanding the playoffs, because teams can just get red hot. I like the old system of MLB. I'm sorry. I think the MLB should just go back to whoever wins the NL, whoever wins the AL plays for the World Series. No playoff. I'm like, I just think you are opening the door. There's too much randomness in this sport. So that's my problem with it. The more you open the door, the less likely it is that one of, not just the best team, one of even any of the elite teams win it. This is not. It's the opposite of it's the opposite problem basketball has, quite honestly, in the NBA.
Well, with basketball, I'm surprised you don't like the NCAA tournament. I can guess where you stand on Danny White suggesting that they expand it to 90 teams. Did you see that?
I did see that. And yeah. So it's not. I'll get to this in March Madness. Basketball, the NCAA tournament is actually a pretty effective way at crowning a champion. I will say that, because it's one of the best 6 or 7 teams that wins it every year.
I need some clarity here. I thought you said you didn't like the NCAA basketball tournament.
Let me get to my point.
Okay.
Yes, the NCAA tournament, I know I'm not being consistent, and I'll explain. The NCAA tournament is actually one of the more effective ways of crowning a national champion, because yes, the best team might lose in the first or second round, or a really bad team might win. Only one of the elite teams is good enough to win 6 games in a row. You know what I mean? Only one of the 5 or 6 best teams is good enough to win 6 games in a row. My problem with the NCAA tournament is the glorification of upsets in a sport designed to let the mediocre teams and lesser teams win. It's about the rules in college basketball. It's about the way they do the seeding in the tournament. It's about how they put teams in the tournament, with so much emphasis on this random conference tournament that I don't think should determine who gets in. There is a lot of things that go into it, why I hate the NCAA tournament, even though it's an effective way at crowning a champion, more effective way than the NCAA baseball tournament. And so, look, it's hard to find the right balance here, guys. Look, because the NBA has the opposite problem. The NBA has the opposite problem.
I'm supposed to be the old guy here, and you're the old guy. Get off my lawn all of a sudden. You're Clint Eastwood.
I don't like rewarding mediocrity.
But saying you don't like the NCAA tournament's like saying you don't like Cindy Crawford in her prime.
I'm saying I don't think the upsets are really that exciting, because to me, all right, I'm just going to, I'm starting it now. I'm going to do this in a month, but I'm starting it now because you got me.
But what do you define as an upset? Because a 7 versus 8, there are a lot of times in which the 8 is actually by Vegas favored, but we consider an upset 7 versus 8. A 1 versus 16 or 2 versus 15 is pretty special.
Yes, but okay, it's the rules of the sport that bother me, and that's where I'm getting at. The rules of the sport allow for lesser teams to win. There's no defensive 3 seconds, so players can just camp out in the paint. Until about 5-6 years ago, there was a 35-second shot clock, so you could play keep away, which just made the sport horrible. Technical fouls are 2 shots and the ball, which is just ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like a penalty in football is a 15-yard penalty if it's a personal foul, which is like the technical foul of football. A technical foul in basketball should be 1 shot, 1 free throw. That's it. Okay, it shouldn't change the game so much where you get 2 shots and the ball. That's insane. The 1-and-1, I can't stand the 1-and-1 in basketball. I think that if you're in a situation where you have to foul, you shouldn't get the benefit of somebody missing the front end of a 1-on-1. You should have to sit there and wait for them to shoot 2 free throws. And these are things that are...
Wait, you couldn't do that throughout the whole game.
No. Once you're in the bonus.
Okay.
There shouldn't be once you're in the bonus. There should never be a 1-and-1 is the stupidest thing in basketball. And it is designed to let teams come back. It's set up so you can come back.
But every sport now is, designed to have everybody be competitive. Sports is socialism to a large regard. I mean, the NFL would love it if every team was either, well, now they play 17 games, but if every team was 9-8, they would absolutely love that.
Well, the NFL's communism, actually, not even socialism.
Well, but exactly, but that's what every sport is trying to do.
Well, the NFL has gotten parity to the team. All the teams are pretty much evenly matched because of how they do the draft and the salary cap and everything like that. So the NFL, the teams are so evenly matched already. I don't mind that. What I mind are rules in the sport that allow for the team that didn't deserve to win and that are more skewed towards that. Imagine if in the NFL, Dave, a roughing the passer penalty wasn't just a 15-yard penalty, but instead it was the team scored a touchdown and then got to get the ball back. That's what they do with the technical foul in the NBA. Okay, so that's why I can't stand the rules. They change the outcome of the game so much in college basketball. It wasn't, a few years ago, they didn't even have the circle under the basket. So you could just camp out under the basket, put your hands up, and take a charge without actually having to play defense at all.
I bet you don't like Valentine's Day. I bet you're the guy who doesn't like puppies and doesn't believe in Valentine's Day.
Oh, come on. You have a dog. They're so much easier once they're not puppies.
So you don't like cute puppies, you don't like Valentine's Day, and you don't like the NCAA tournament.
I think it is.
Are you getting your lovely wife, who I actually haven't met, but are you getting your lovely wife anything for Valentine's?
We celebrated Valentine's on Saturday, and I grilled. In the most selfish way possible, grilled a steak for her on Valentine's Day because I knew I could enjoy the steak. So
I'll tell you what's emasculating is, do you guys have an air fryer?
No, we do not.
Oh,
we do not.
And she'll be able to make steaks better than you, and that's very emasculating. My wife can make steaks better than me with an air fryer on a grill.
My wife
you lose your man card really quick.
My wife already makes steaks better than me. She actually grills better than me. I just enjoy grilling. I do a charcoal grill. It's relaxing. Throw the steak on. I can just have a beer, sit outside, listen to music while it's grilling. My wife actually is a better griller and cook than me all the way around. I personally enjoy grilling. So
Arthur says he agrees with Caleb on your points about the NCAA tournament for basketball.
Yeah, and also here's the other part. Who gets in? 31 wildcard teams get in, or at-large teams. 31 at-large bids, 34 automatic bids. Half those automatic bids are teams that got red hot and won their conference title. And you just
not half, maybe 4.
Look at those smaller conferences.
They won. Mostly the better team wins those small conference tournaments. There's about 4 or 5 teams each and every year that actually get in that weren't going to get in.
Here's the big part of March Madness. I'm going to say this more than anything. The thing that bothers me the most. No sport renders the regular season so meaningsless like March Madness.
Oh, I agree with that. No, I think they've got to do something to fix the.
And here's how I can
season, but
I'll tell you how you can fix it.
To pay Paul.
I'll tell you how you can fix it, and I'm okay if you expand it to 80 teams in the tournament. If you do this, you ready for my solution, Dave?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. The conference regular season champion and the conference tournament champion both get automatic bids to the tournament. Both of them.
Well, then, okay, I'm fine with that. I actually am. But the conference champion, well, I don't think a lot of teams give it their all in the conference tournaments anyway. So, I mean, I can roll with that one. I don't see how you
Then
completely fix everything.
every team, because if you're at to like 67 or 68 teams, you're playing your guts off to win the conference regular season championship, because if you don't win it, you either have to win the conference tournament or you are really sweating that conference tournament for other teams, and you're hoping a second team doesn't win the conference tournament that didn't win the regular season title.
See,
You're really sweating at that point.
Sorry to step on you. I don't think that being a conference champion is going to change the actual motivation of a player or the outcome, because you're either that good and motivated to play 3 months in the conference tournament, or what? Yeah, right at 3 months, or you're not. I don't think a team of a bunch of Hoosiers guys, which you and I agree is the most overrated sports movie of all time, but I don't think a bunch of dudes that are Hoosiers guys that are in the SEC are going to say, let's put together a 3-month run so we can make the tournament. I don't see that changing much.
I think that these regular season games are going to matter a lot more if you put more emphasis on regular season champions getting in and then lessen the number of at-large bids. And I don't know the best mathematical way to do that. But
see, like going down your path for a second, okay? Like, I would say the top 4 teams automatically make the tournament instead of just the conference champion at the standings at the end of the season. Maybe 2 from the East, 2 from the West. I'm just spitballing here. I'm not saying this is a great idea off the shoot, but then you have somebody.
That's 120 team tournament day.
Well, no, I'm just talking about the. No, you're right. I mean that. But
okay, what about this? Actually,
there's a guarantee to the Big Ten, the Pac-12, the SEC that they get 4 in. Then I could see somebody battling to get from 5 to 4. I don't think anybody's going to be able to battle for 3 months to get from 5 to 1. Does that make sense?
Right. I see what you're saying. Okay, here we go. How about this? The top 2 teams from every there's 32 top conferences. So the top 2 regular season teams from every single conference, that gets you to 64, right? A conference tournament champion will bump the second team, if that makes sense. If a team below the top 2 wins the conference tournament, that bumps the second team off the automatic bid list. Does that make sense?
Okay, I don't hate that.
Okay, so you're at 64.
Yeah.
And then you only got 4 other at-large bids. That would make it so much fun. Every regular season game would matter at that point.
Okay, I can roll with that. But I like it the way it is, too. It's like the Mona Lisa asking her to smile.